Dr. Kate Altizer, and I teach piano at Colby College in Waterville, Maine. I'm also a musicologist, and I've prepared this 2-part video on women in music for the DuPage Symphony Orchestra. This is part 2. You can hear Grace Williams' fantastic concerto for trumpet and orchestra on the May 18th concert at the DuPage Symphony Orchestra, Modern and Melodious. In terms of modern impact, instrument stereotyping start early. In 2002, researchers from the University of Washington studied 600 kindergartners and 4th graders and showed that even as young as kindergarten, girls avoided instruments stereotyped as masculine, such as the trumpet and trombone. The good news is that as they got older, they showed more varied interest, especially when they were shown women playing these instruments. This raises a question I'd like to leave you with. How do we both acknowledge the ways the past is still with us without always further casting women as oppressed and leaving room for optimism about the future? Ethnomusicologist Dr. Elisa Jones's framing of 2 key figures in 20th century music, contralto Marian Anderson and composer and keyboard player Florence B. Price, offer us one answer. Each of these 2 musicians has a famous event in their stories, which usually shows up in any encyclopedia entry or piece written about them, often fairly prominently. For Price, the narrative usually goes something like, Florence Price's Symphony in E minor was the first piece by a black female composer performed by the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. For Anderson, it's a performance at the Lincoln Memorial in 1939, because she was refused to sing at D.C.'s Constitution Hall, owned by the Daughters of the American Revolution. First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt stepped in and arranged the concert at Lincoln Memorial. Dr. Jones suggests, however, rather than framing these 2 musicians' legacies in terms of whiteness, instead we could frame it through black sisterhood. Both artists supported and received substantial support from other black women musicians. And one key example is that Anderson performed Florence Price's arrangement of My Soul's Been Anchored in the Lord at the memorial concert. Now, it's not just the fact she programmed a work by Price at a prestigious event, but the fact that, on the program of the event, Anderson first named Price. That is, all the other composers on the program, who were men, were listed by their last name only. Price, the only woman on the program, was named by her first and last name, making her gender clear. She was also listed last, a decided place of honor in recital programs at the time. Contemporary trends suggest that representation, amplification, and ultimately accountability do have an impact. In 2021, the Chicago Symphony Orchestra appointed violinist Hilary Hahn as artist in residence and Jessie Montgomery as Mead composer in residence. They also filled their 2022-23 season with works by women, in particular contemporary women, as well as highlighting women conductors. At the end of the day, we are talking about real careers, real lives, affected by hiring and programming choices. Also, though, we are missing out on some absolutely incredible music. I encourage you to set a goal for yourself to learn one new musician from a marginalized identity, whether that's a composer, performer, maybe once a month. It doesn't mean we have to throw out our old favorites, just that there can be plenty of room for everyone. Start your challenge by learning more about the Welsh composer Grace Williams. On the website of the DuPage Symphony Orchestra, you can find videos about her life and a video about her concerto for trumpet and orchestra, which you can hear on the May concert at the DuPage Symphony Orchestra, Modern and Melodious.